So is mine. Mine's what, that's why it's up. Oh,
Oh, all right.
camera face.
That's right. We are live. And let me turn this down so I can go get on our page and see if anybody joins us.
True. Do you want me to do that too?
I can do it. I'll keep an eye on it. Unless you want to, then.
I don't, my phone's broke. So there's that.
Oh, well, that's always a good start. There we go. I got it up. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Dropping my phone. Okay.
All right. So.
All right, Leah. So earlier today,
Okay, so what's our topic?
Our topic is permission, asking permission of the animals, of people.
We are live.
Oh my God, I always do that. I always win.
Okay. Oh, it's you. Okay. I thought it was me. I'm like, oh no.
No. Okay, so we're talking about permission with animals. Yes, this is a big one.
Yes, yes. We had some questions about it. Because it can be kind of confusing.
Well, I think it is really confusing for our method of Animal Reiki because, I think you said this earlier, that it's through our method, it's more like, because we come at the animals, or not come at the animals, because when we approach the animals, we're becoming from a really humble state. It's not like, hey, I'm here, I'm going to fix you, I'm going to direct the energy. You would definitely need full on permission at that point, right? You have to say, hey, do you mind if I do this? This is like if I was going to come and try and heal you.
Right.
But when we're just bringing love and kindness and compassion, and there are times when people don't want that, right? They're like, no, I just want, but I think that from that place of love and humility of I just want to be with you. Not, I'm trying to fix you. I'm not trying to change you. So it really changes the permission conversation, I believe, because if I come up and say, hey, Jamie, do you mind if I sit next to you? It's more like that, right? It's more like, could I sit next to you? Can I share space? It's a very subtle permission that I think is almost always 100% accepted in some form. Sometimes animals want you a little further back, but I feel like in some form, it's always accepted because it's so passive. We're not trying to heal, change, fix what's wrong. As soon as we come from that mindset of, I'm going to fix you, I'm going to heal you, then yeah, you better ask very clear permission and be ready for a clear no, because that's a completely different energy when you approach. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's true. And one of the questions that came up earlier this morning was the person was having a little bit of trouble understanding, like when I sit in meditation, do the Animal Reiki meditations, am I meditating for me, or am I, doing Reiki for the animal?
Mm-hmm.
And so she was a little confused about that, which I can understand.
Oh, definitely, because it's confusing.
It is. And I said, well, I think the best way to explain it, at least for me,
right,
is to remember, if you are doing Reiki to an animal, then yeah, you're meditating, you're focused on them, you're like sending something to them, right? But with the let animals lead, when you offer Reiki, you're just becoming Reiki. You're becoming that energy. So you can just meditate and hold that space for the animal.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I think what's hard to comprehend is that they're thinking that I'm taking something and I'm giving it to you, right? There's a taking, there's a giving, whereas really there's just a being in our method. There's just I am just going to meditate, and really it's just touching back into who we truly are, which is we are a loving, peaceful, joyful being. And so when we meditate, we're tapping back into that original energy. We're letting go of all of our anger, all of our worry, all of our frustrations, whatever is bothering us. And we're going back to who we truly are. And in that space, our light starts to shine. And there is no give and take. There's just being. And I think people have a hard time with that because, you know, you want to be doing something for an animal. If an animal is sick, do you really just want to be sitting there passively being? Yes, absolutely, 100%. Because, you know, even though we have vet members who do Reiki, um, for us, most lay people, we're not there to heal. We're there to support. And there's a huge difference. And the thing with animals is that with humans, yes, they need more, right? That's why human Reiki is so effective, because humans need more. They need more touch. They're more tactile, all this. But for animals, they're so energetic that they don't need for anything more than us to create a peaceful space. In that peaceful space, that's when they can heal. So I'm kind of going off from permission, but when you're just coming and saying, I'm just love to sit with you, that's a little different. Now, of course, we still have to ask permission, but it's not like I need permission to change you, fix you, cure you. It's I just need permission to sit with you. And that's a little more passive, I think, than, you know, because you can, like, I think that there's a big question in distant treatments. How do you know if the animal accepts? Especially when you're a newbie, because you may not feel that energy, right? So I think that you just trust the minute you connect and you're just sending love. And it doesn't matter. I mean, it's up to them on the other side too. We don't even know how much animals are taking when we sit with them anyway. Even if there is a 100% yes, you might even see the animal relaxing. You might see the animal yawning or sleeping. You still don't know how much the animal's taking from you. Exactly. And then I might not by taking, but sharing, enjoying this space. Like, you know, how much are they even connecting with you? You'll never know the truth, but you can trust your instincts, right? And so I think that for us, if we can always just remember in our form of animal Reiki, like if you're going to meditate, it's more, may I sit with you? And that's it. It's not, may I heal you? You're not asking for any other permission other than, may I sit with you? And that kind of changes things, I believe.
I think it does too. And again, I think it's our intent. You know, when we go in and we're not intent on healing them or fixing them, there's something wrong with you. It's just, I want to become this beautiful energy. I want to hold a space for you. You're welcome to step into it if you want, but you don't have to. I just want to create this space. And, you know, that intent is so different than, oh, you need to be fixed and I'm here to fix you. You know, just like with people, I wouldn't appreciate somebody coming in and like, oh, I'm going to fix you. No, that's probably not going to go well.
Well, then it puts that I'm here, you're down here. Yes. When in reality, the animals are up here and we're down here, because energetically, you know, when spiritually, they're more evolved than we are. So we have to have that respect. It's interesting too, because, you know, when you say that, I think that for us with the animals too, is that we have to be really careful and stay in that humility, right? That humbleness, because again, it's your approach. Your permission is really your approach too. Are you like, hey, I have this great thing and I want to give it to you. So, you know, I'm asking permission, but really, I just want you to say yes. Instead of, I would love for you to share the space. What I always say too is, I would love to share space, and I would love if you could help elevate me, you know? And even sick animals, you know, because people go, oh, I don't want to ask this animal because they're sick. Sick animals love to support you because they still have this big energetic soul. It's their body that's failing. And we look at the body constantly. I've had the most incredible experiences with animals who are dying when I say, I'm feeling really weak and I would love if you could help, you know, join me so I feel stronger. And it's amazing what happens in that space.
Absolutely. Yeah, just because the body is wearing out doesn't mean their spirit is. They still have that beautiful light inside them. And that's what we all are. You know, we're all this beautiful light, this spirit. We're all connected. And they're more, you know, most of the time they're just so willing to help us no matter what. I think they're happy that we come and ask them to help elevate us.
Absolutely. I learned that early on when I was learning Reiki. I'd only done level 1. And it was with this little cat, Minu, who was 21, but she'd been with my friend Lindsay since Lindsay was 9 years old.
Oh my gosh.
So Lindsay had her for 21 years. And she was very sick. And of course, Lindsay was very, very shaken by it. But when Mino, she could barely lift her head. She was like 5 pounds, just this little, just shell of a kitty. I said, Mino, I'm just learning and I want to do my best with you. And so if you'd like to join me and if you'd like to help me. And she could barely move and she put her head in my hand, just like kind of just shook and just boom in there. And it was like, I could just feel myself going deeper when she did. And it was Minu taught me so much, but I learned so early on, I was so grateful for that lesson that even when animals are sick, they can still help us. And she taught me so much too about, a lot of people say, oh, my energy is too strong and the animal. Well, when animals are sick, they can't get away from you as much. And she really taught me how to be really tuned in and watching her nose. So when I was sitting with her, if I put my hand too close, because we're tactile, I'm going to admit, I made mistakes. I put my hand and I could feel her. I could see her just kind of shaking a little bit, just, struggling. And I'm like, ooh, okay. Put my hands back and then she would relax again. So it's like so important for us that when we do ask permission, right? And we are sitting with the animal, it's different when they're, it's distant because they can take as much as they can come and go. There's nobody watching them.
That's true.
But when we're sitting with them, it's just so important to be tuned in to what's happening and make sure that, especially with a sick animal, that there isn't a no being said at some time, like maybe just scoot back a little. Because again, it's not so much our healing energy, our Reiki is so strong. It's our presence is so strong. Have you ever been around somebody and their presence is so big and they're really nice and you're just like, could you just get back just a little? I'm like that. My energy is like that.
We all have our space bubbles, right? And then there's people that just get like,
yes, that's me. I'm that person. I'm the bubble puffer. You know this, Jamie. You know this about me. Ugly truths.
The truth comes out now. But exactly, there's people that they get a little too close and you're like, oh, you're kind of in my bubble. So, the same with animals, especially if they're sick or they're feeling maybe vulnerable, like they can't protect themselves, anything like that.
Yeah, that happens, I think, a lot. If we're not mindful, we can realize, oh crap, they're actually trying to get away from me.
Yes.
I need to back off,
Yeah. And one of the things, that came up this morning was that you can be conscious of what's going on with the animal and be aware and, look and then go back and still be inward in that meditative state.
Yes.
I mean, that comes with some practice. I get it.
Lots of practice.
Yeah. And, but that's what you have to do. And one of the things I pointed out, depending on the animal you're working with, like I go to farm sanctuaries, there's pigs that are 1,500 pounds. And I mean, they could hurt you, not meaning to, but you just kind of have to open your eyes once in a while or just do a soft gaze so you know what's around you, to keep yourself safe.
Right. No, absolutely. That happened to me with horses. They got spooked and they hit me and ran over me. Thankfully, I wasn't hurt, but you have to be really careful when you're with animals, especially if you don't know them. That's why it's always good to just stay outside the pasture. But yeah, you have to be really aware because something could happen that could spook them in a second. You don't know what spooks them. It could be a leaf falling for like a horse or any animal, really. Like a dog gets all weird like that.
Pigs do that too. I've been out at the sanctuary and I've seen that where something scared one and they just run like a pack. Man. Like, holy cow.
Sheep too. sheep will do
Yes.
that too. They'll
Yeah.
get really scared and then boom, and they'll run you over not meaning to, but they're just
Right.
so like fear-based, right? They don't. So you have to be really careful, and when asking permission, that's not, it's when you first ask permission, that's not the end of it, right?
Right.
It's more,
Yeah.
it's always fluctuating. The energy, it's always, things are always changing. You have to be ready to pivot and go, oh, I need to back up, or, oh, maybe I need to go outside the pen. I remember one time Kathleen went to a barn, and one of the horses had his teeth floated, and it's kind of painful sometimes. And so she was like, oh, I'm going to go do Reiki. And she went in there with him, and he was like, not having it. He cocked his foot at her, and she's like, oh, I'm here to help you. And he like lifted it. And once they lifted, it's like, oh, you better get out, because they're going to kick you. So she left, and then she moved back further, and then he was fine. Because if he still would have been mad, he would have kicked the stall door.
Right.
They're not going to stop that. So it's a matter of asking permission, and a no doesn't necessarily mean hell no. It just means keep going until I tell you okay. And that actually happened to me in a pasture with horses at Remus. There was a bunch of horses, and we always go out with them. And I went over to this little pack, and I went walking up, and I asked permission if I could be there. And, everybody was just calm. And then this lead mare came up, and she had her ears back, and I'm all, oh shit. And she's pushing me back. And then as I'm moving back, her ears are slowly going from back to forward. And when I got where she was, she put her ears forward. It's like, there, stay there. So, it was so sweet, because it was like, I'm okay with you being here, but not where you are. There is because in herds, they know where everybody is, and the mares will move each, other horses to different locations. And I don't know the reason for that. I'm sure somebody with horse expertise does, but so it was really interesting to have, I don't know, I don't think it was Apollo, it was Dolly maybe, to have her do that to me. Wasn't a no, it was not where you are. No, you need to back up. And so that was a really good lesson. So that, permission,
it's really important, and yet it's different than what we think of it. I had that same experience in a corral with some horses. There was a new one that was brought in, and he was really causing problems. Everybody was off balance and fighting for who's in charge. And I was in there, and he was like trying to come up, and there was a mare that came up, and she just put herself in front of me. And she would not let him approach, because he was a troublemaker, he was causing problems. And so she just stayed there until he went away.
Isn't that?
It was like, nope, you don't have permission to come over here, because you're just going to cause problems.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
That is crazy. But so again, if you weren't paying attention to like her coming in between, you might think, oh, I need to leave because here he comes, right?
Right.
And without just kind of waiting, because of course you never want to put yourself in danger, right? But I love how you said that it's permission isn't what you think. And in Animal Reiki, it really isn't. It's asking in a humble way. It's waiting for an answer. It's kind of fluctuating with that answer. Like maybe if I get back a little bit further, there will be a yes. We want to give up as humans. Like, just like if you're sitting there and like the energy is ebbing and flowing in a meditation, and then, the animal leaves to go eat or drink, and a lot of people are like, oh, okay, it's over. I should stop now. But it's not. They're just getting something to drink, and then they come back. So it's really with animals, we have to let go of our humanness, be more patient, be more humble. And that's how we ask permission. And we're always aware of what that answer is. Now, of course, distance, again, different. You just ask.
Different situation, but
and then you'll see.
But then they're free to take as much or as little, none at all. They can move. They can, it's not like we're right there in their space.
Exactly. They
Totally
can eat and drink. We don't know. There's a freedom there. And that's why I like distance a lot, because there's always validation. It's always important to get validation, but distance is good. And it's much easier to ask permission and just be humble. But in person, there's lots of layers here. So I think, kind of just like wrapping it up to make it easy is that, ask permission in a humble way. I would love to share space. Also asking them to help support you is also really good, especially because we'll never be to where they are. So always, none of us are that high up.
Right.
Always asking permission, and then and making sure that what's going on, it's fluctuating, right? If you're out there in a pasture or you're outside a fence, and just making sure that, everybody is still okay with you.
Right. Because it's not, like when you think about human Reiki, and if you've had a treatment, you go in, you lay down on a table, the practitioner, I mean, yes, a lot of them are guided, but they do have specific hand positions, and that's how they start, and they work away. And there's like, a system, and then the person just goes with it, right? It's pretty much the practitioner making the decisions and where they feel the energy and moving around. And it's just totally opposite with the animals.
Absolutely.
They're the ones that are in control of this session. They're the ones making the decisions, how they want to accept it, all of that. And what I think we have to do as humans is let go of the outcome.
Mhm.
Because, I know there's been times when, I just so want to see the animal respond to the energy. I needed that, right? But they didn't need to show me that.
Or it's you. I know you've experienced this where you expect a big response, right? Like if you are, and you and I both know this from horses. So you're just meditating, and sometimes horses will come up and put their head in your chest, and that's amazing,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But most of the time, what happens, Jamie, when we're doing Reiki with horses?
They just walk away.
Or they graze, or they do
Yeah,
whatever.
yes,
But it doesn't mean they're not accepting it, because you
no, it
can
doesn't.
see, right? Like when they slow down, when they like are eating, and then they like kind of just stand there, and then they go back to eating, and then they just stand and kind of zone out with their eyes closed or their head hangs, But if you're not patient and you're not mindful, you miss all those subtle signs of acceptance.
Yes. And it's so easy to miss them
Right.
because their movements, how they communicate is so subtle, and with humans, I mean, we have the language. And I mean, can you imagine if you just communicated by twitching your nose or something? Who would even know that? They'd be like, what's wrong with that person? Like bewitched. Oh,
I know, right? Oh my God. Like, because you know what? You just highlighted something. We're not a subtle being at all.
no, we're
We're
not.
very we're used to yelling or crying or being really emotive about things. And really, you're right. It's just a twitch of the ear, a flick,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Horses will do that if they don't want you. I know horses, it's really cool. Like when you're putting, when they do allow you to put a hand like on their neck or something, and then they'll twitch your hand all the way down to where they do want it, like on their shoulder. But it's so funny, they'll go, tick, tick. And I've had a horse tell me no by twitching. It's like I put my hand no. And so I'll go, oh, is it there? And it's like, no. Okay, then nothing.
Yeah.
Because they'll come to you and show you when they want. But I know, I love that. That is so true. So again, permission may not look like, yes, you may do this. It might be more like, I'll lay down, or I'll lay down 5 feet from you. Or even in the shelter, I mean, we should talk a little bit about this, because in the shelter, in fact, Deanna just made a really cute video for you and I about this dog in the shelter, and he's really distressed, and he's barking, 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 and she's sitting to the side. You can't even see her. You can just see her elbow, but I know she's facing away from him, and she's just meditating. Within 2 minutes, he goes from barking and standing and pacing to sitting and yawning, and then just kind of, trying to. So it's like, that's him saying it's okay. Now, when she first walked up, it was bark, 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 bark. So you might think that's a no, but you have to give them a chance to understand what it is you're offering. Like, you can say, I want to hold space, I want to share space. They're like, okay, what? I don't even know you. Like, what does this mean? So you really have to start meditating and go inward, and then they go, oh, I like this.
Right. And they're not used to people doing that. I mean, they're used to us being loud and kind of blind and clueless. Really, we must appear that way to animals.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, oh my gosh, these people, they just don't get it at all. You got to feel sorry for them. And, so when you come in, they expect us to be like that. And so you have to give them time to, oh, okay, this one gets it. This one gets it. And then maybe
Absolutely.
they'll, yeah, decide to sit with us. And
Yeah, no, and I think that it kind of acceptance is what we're looking for when we're asking for permission. It's just, are they starting to settle? And with a really stressed dog, it might take 15 minutes to
oh
settle.
yeah,
So you just don't give up. You just watch for the signs where they're very agitated, right? Like
right,
if they're like coming at you agitated, like you need to leave. But most of the time, I mean, I've never had a dog do that. I've just had them continue to bark. Maybe they pace, but then they start pacing slower, like they'll stop,
right,
because some of the emotional issues are really deep. So we
yeah,
can't give up on them. We can't
no,
say, oh, well, this is a lost cause. He's never going to settle down.
right,
Because that's what they're used to. They're used to people giving up on them. And
yes,
so we have to be the ones that come in and respectfully, again, humbly, right? Very humbly. And I think that that's the most important thing. If you ask permission, may I sit with you humbly? And then you, not in their, on them, like face to face, if you can sit to the side and meditate and start meditating and let them realize, because they're energetic creatures, right? So
right,
energetically, they want to know what you're like. Because right now, when you're coming at them, especially like, can you imagine coming at a shelter dog and, oh, I'm going to sit here with you and I'm going to offer Reiki because you need it because you're really stressed out. That's like, what? That's
mhm,
even more, you need to do what I'm saying. And
right,
that's not what they need. They need
no,
someone to say, I love you. You are perfect, however you are.
yes, absolutely. And I think we have to realize that animals all have their own personalities.
Mhm.
So you have that to, first off, we can't speak their language very fluently at all, the language of energy and the body language and the subtleties that they use. We're kind of blind to that. And then you throw in the fact that they're all a little different, how they want to communicate with you, because, especially I remember when I first started, it's like, I wanted to know, what do I look for? What does this mean? What's this? And, you just have to be open to each animal is an individual. There's signs, that you kind of we know that you see all the time that are very common, that show that they're accepting or they're not accepting.
Mhm.
But there's also ones that'll throw a wrench in you. There was a horse when I was
Absolutely.
out at the ranch, and it was on the other side of this fence, and it was like a wire fence, pig fence, so it wasn't barbed wire. And it was kind of staying back, and it had come up, and been around us, and then it moved away. And it's like, well, I don't really know what's going on with this horse. But then it came and it tried to get its butt and sit on top of the fence right next to us. And I'm like, now do you want your hips touched? Is that what you're telling me? So I just went ahead and tried it, and the horse was fine with it. But it's like, it just came and, sat on this fence. Like, okay, all right, I get it. But I haven't seen very many horses sit on a little thin wire fence.
No, no, it's trying to get close to you, right? Like I know
Yeah.
at the shelter when I would sit in the recovery room with the cats and I
Mm,
would sit in the middle and meditate and like some of the cats they would be hanging out with their arms, like trying to get as close as possible to me, and
right.
it's really cool to see. But again, it's every animal, every session. You just don't know what you're going to get. You
You
might
don't.
have like the horse session, right? You
Right.
have this incredible thing. And then the next day when you go over there, he might be like,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't really,
I might even just go to the back pasture. I've had that happen. One,
yeah,
where they're really, one time they just come up and they take as much and they're really involved. And the next time I go, they're like, oh, it's you. Okay, well, I'm going to go out and graze. And
because they got what they needed. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? But we're like, no, you need more. And they're like, no, I don't. I got a
not
lot
today.
yesterday. It
Yeah,
actually really helped me. Thank you. But
yeah,
I'm going,
yeah.
but our egos are so just, oh my God,
I
this
know,
is
and they're so
something like
sneaky.
this.
It's our
Mhm.
ego is so sneaky.
And we're all guilty. Every single
Oh,
one of us
every
have,
one
no
of
matter
us.
how many years you've been practicing,
Yeah,
it happens to you. I mean, when you're meditating with the tigers, you want that damn tiger to come up.
yeah,
And when it doesn't, you're like, "Eh," you know? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm so guilty of that. It's like, oh, Katrina, please, just like, please connect with me. And, oh, and they don't like that neediness, so just
Right.
like, please, please, please. They're like, no, no, no,
No,
no.
no, no, no. That's not what this is about. No. Yeah.
But it's really just, I think for us, if we can just be humble and know that what we're offering is really valued by the animals. They've shown us that time and time again. They
Yep.
appreciate it. They love it. It's not something they're used to from humans. So we also have to be really patient in how they're accepting and what that looks like. So when they're accepting it, the yes to your asking of permission might be really subtle. So just, give lots of space. And if they start to come towards you, it's like what Kathleen always says, mirroring. So if the animal comes
Yep.
towards you, you can try to come a little closer. If they stop or back up, then you back up, so that there's a definite respect there, because that's what horses do too. They'll mirror each other. Like, can I come
Right.
forward? Oh, no, get back. Okay. And so I think that always being cognizant of that. But, I know that you've worked with pigs, and this might be a little off topic, is I've never really worked with pigs. So tell me what, like when you do sessions with pigs, like what are some of their signs that they accept?
Well, pigs love to have their bellies rubbed. I mean, they will come up
So
to
do
you.
you touch the pigs when you're sitting and doing meditation?
If they come up and roll over, I will. Yes. Sometimes I'm just in meditation. Like one of my students, I got a picture of her, and she was out in the pasture under the tree. There was one tree out there. So she's like got her back up against the tree. And all the pigs just came and they made a circle around her and the tree, and they laid down.
Oh my goodness.
And that was so cool. And then there was another time, because pigs they're just funny because they just come right up, but they do plop down and just plop down. You can rub my belly, you can touch me, it's fine. Most of the time they don't mind being touched at all. And they one time I was out there, this was quite a long time ago, with a student, and we had sat and talked to the founder, and we were just sitting there talking, and we'd already, been around and offered Reiki to all the animals. And she had some little ones, which little is relative, but they were little guys and they were young, let's put it that way. And so we both said, well, I think we have to go now. So we got up, and all of a sudden we heard this squealing, and here they come. They were clear around the house, and they came running up to us once we said we were going to leave. And they followed us to the gate. They didn't want us to go.
Oh my goodness.
And the founder has told me, she said, I don't know what you guys do, because she really doesn't get it. But she said, I don't know what you do. I just know that they're different when you're here. And when you leave, they get mad and they go back to their houses and pout.
Oh my gosh, they're such sensitive little beings.
They are so sensitive. Pigs are so smart, and they're so sensitive. People don't realize, just how incredibly sensitive they are.
Oh, I'm so glad you shared that. I have worked, I can't say I've never worked with pigs. I worked with Harley at Bright Haven, and then
Right.
I could say worked. I shared space.
Yeah.
And then with at Care, they have like two big boars. One of the boars loved the Reiki so much from this one woman, Mary Lou. He was enamored with her, kept following her, was rubbing on her. It was just so crazy. Yeah, it kind of got a little dangerous. That happened to Kathleen with a donkey too. Sometimes they get a little too close. They say, God, this feels really good.
Yes, yes, that's right. And, that's not necessarily good.
No, got to be careful. I mean, well, Kathleen, it was kind of dangerous because the one donkey didn't want the other donkeys near her, but he was fighting. And so it was really just kind of we had to try to get her out of there and not upset him. And yeah, I mean, just always make yourself safe, people. Always be safe.
Yes.
Make sure that you.
So important when you work with animals, because they're not going to intentionally try to hurt you.
No, they never do.
It could happen, I mean, it's so easy, and it could be your own pets, look at my two knuckleheads, that's going on. And it's not intentional, but again, it's about watching them. So if they don't know, Bella has not done well with Sophie, the new addition.
Mhm.
And so there's some fights, and I can tell, I mean, and I can see it in her body language, and it's so subtle. Like
Mhm.
she'll just drop her head a little bit, and it's like, oh my gosh, she's going after her. So I know I have to like immediately get over there and intervene.
Right.
And it's just that subtle,
Yeah.
and but it's powerful, because she's sending a powerful message
Well, I
about
think
what
that that's
she's
what
doing.
we don't understand. Those little looks, those little, movements, they actually, to us, they're so subtle, but to other animals, they're probably not as
Right.
subtle. They know immediately, oh, the things are shifting. Like the lions and like the gazelles when they're sharing the space, and all of a sudden the lion gets hungry. Then
Yes,
it's
they
like,
know.
and they know it doesn't even take just the subtlest shift of energy. And so I think that that's really what we have to be mindful of, just those shifts of energy. But
Oh,
when we're asking permission, as we can see, it is a little bit complicated, but the best thing to do is be humble, ask, can I share this? And
yep.
then ask them to be your teacher and your guide as
Mhm.
they take you through this, because they will show you. If you ask them, they will show you. It's amazing. I know you've had this when you talk to an animal, and it's not animal communication. That's not what I'm talking about, because I don't know what they say back. But I always say to them how I'm feeling. Like there was a horse, a pregnant mare, Whiskey, and he was kind of sassy. You never knew how Whiskey was going to be. He was
Mhm.
a sweet horse. And I was sitting in the pasture offering Reiki to another horse. And I said, Whiskey, I have to do this. And he came up and he was like, his ears were like flickering. And I'm all, Whiskey, this really scares me. So I don't know if you're upset, but if you could just show me that you're okay with this, otherwise I'll leave. And then he put his ears forward and he started to kiss me all down my body, So
Yeah.
it's like, we think, oh, they don't understand us. They understand everything. They
Yeah.
understand our intent. They understand where our mind is. And we have to be really cognizant. And that's why permission, just that act of saying, may I be with you?
Right.
And would you, help me as I sit with you? Because there's so much, right?
Oh
And we're
yeah,
like this.
absolutely. Absolutely. And it's about respecting them. You show respect when you ask permission, when you just ask if you can sit with them, if you can share space, invite them in if they want, but they don't have to. And it's just about respecting them as another spiritual being, just like we are.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. I
And
think
they don't get that
I
very
love that.
often.
I
Yeah.
love that. Permission is respect.
Yes.
Asking permission is respect. To put it to like just narrow it down really
Yeah.
simply, it just comes down to respect. If
Mhm.
you're respectful and humble, then you're always going to get a yes. That's
Yeah.
all they want from us. I
Mhm.
mean, I guarantee it. And also we say animal Reiki and then we say meditation, just so people know it is the same in our system. There are
Yeah.
systems out there that animal Reiki is a hands-on healing system, but our
Good point.
system, the Let Animals Lead method, is strictly meditation. We
Yes.
meditate to bring our bodies and mind into balance, and that energy then helps support animals.
Yes. That's a good point, because there's people out there saying animal Reiki and they're not doing anything close to what we are.
No, it's a hand. Well, they're taking human Reiki and
Yes.
adapting it to animals. So it's a very hands-on. They're looking at chakras in the animals, which is also a human thing. It's not an animal thing. Animals don't have to worry about their chakras because they're already clear.
Yes.
I don't know if they're clear or not. I don't want to say
Well,
that, but
they
it's
are,
a very
unless,
human thing. It's a very human thing.
yeah, unless some human came along and messed them up, then they probably won't be clear,
Right.
but
Oh no, that's so true. That's so true. My little girl, her chakras. I don't know. Is it your root chakra? It's all up. She put her ear forward. She's like, what?
that
I'm
must
not
be
perfect.
Bella's chakras must be causing her problems too.
I know, poor Bella. So should we do a meditation? We don't have anybody joining us, so we're just like talking and
Yeah,
gabbing.
we're just like going with the flow.
And that's good. I like it.
It is. Oh, I think we should do a meditation.
Okay. I'll do the meditation just because I have to practice this one. I have to record it for
Oh, okay.
this podcast. So So yeah, we'll do this. Yeah.
Good, yeah.
I hope I can
I
remember it.
saw on Facebook. Oh, okay. Before we start, I have to brag on you because I saw on Facebook where a gentleman shared your meditation. He was happy to do it.
Oh,
What's that
yeah.
about? Tell us.
So I was asked by a guy in my entrepreneur group. His name is Paul Shepard. His what is his website is like something mindset. Um, and he is really amazing. He is all of he's kind of, I don't know if he's a psychologist, but he has a podcast and he does TikTok all about mental health and about how we combat anxiety. And let's see, here is his website. It's the Mindset Coach.
Okay.
And so he's really wonderful, man. And of course he's British, so his accent's really wonderful. But he asked me to do a meditation for his podcast. But unfortunately the music was too loud and I did them together, so I have to re-record it. So this is kind of like that. So I will. Let's get comfortable. Actually, if you don't mind, I'm gonna let me see. Let's see if this music, if it sounds garbly, because it does help to have the music. But tell me if it sounds. Tell me if it sounds garbly, because if it does, then we don't want to do it. So let me go down here. I think it's down here. Yes, there it is. So is that garbly?
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't it so sucky that it's garbly?
I know.
It would be so nice. Like
if it was as clear as your voice.
Yeah. Well, how can we do that? We have to figure that out. All right.
There's a way. There's a way.
I know there is. There's always a way, right? There's an app for that, I'm sure. So okay.
Yes.
So we're going to go. And of course, if there's an app, we'll master it because we're so good at tech.
Yeah, oh yeah, I am. The Google.
Oh my God. And we laugh because Jamie really is like, sometimes it's like, Jamie, really? Like, I'm not that good, but Jamie, oh my God. Yeah, the Google. I have to go on the Google and find that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's okay. We have to embrace our age. We're not Gen Zs and we're not millennials. So,
we're just kind of what we are.
We're the boomers. We're the boomers.
Yep.
Bringing down the boom. Boom.
Last of the boomers right here.
I know, that's true. Our year was the last year of boomers. We are like the end of it.
Yeah.
We're the last of the boomers, like the dinosaurs. We're the
last of the Mohicans, the last of the boomers.
Oh my God, we think it's funny. Nobody probably else does, but we do because we are a dying breed. Respect us.
We need respect.
That's why we work with animals all the time.
I know.
Oh, okay. All right. I hope I can do this now. I'm laughing so hard.
Okay.
Okay. Whew. Okay.
We'll calm down.
All right. So we'll go into Gasho and we'll set our intent that we're open to receive whatever it is that we need most at this moment in time. And then we're just open to receiving, whether it's knowledge or sight or sound, whatever that is, through this meditation. This meditation is about tapping into who we really truly are, which is a beautiful, peaceful, loving, kind person. So embrace any images or messages that you get through this meditation. And whenever you're ready, you can put your hands face up or face down on your lap, making sure your spine is nice and straight. Breathing in through your nose deeply, pulling that breath into your stomach. Connect with your stomach, expand your stomach, and then gently release that breath out your mouth or out your nose. And continue this deep breath for about 4 more breaths. With every breath out, feel your body start to relax, your shoulders soften, your jaw soften. Any tightness you're holding in your body, you start to let go. Focus on that expansion and the release. I'd like you to change your breath to a very slow inhale. Pull your breath deep into your belly, expand, and imagine that a light is ignited within your belly. On the out breath, feel the light growing stronger within you. Breathing in through your nose, pull that breath, and then feel that light get brighter. With every breath in and out, your light starts to shine brighter and brighter. At first, it's just a little twinkle, and then it's maybe the size of a quarter, and now it's growing. This light can be gold or purple or multicolored. It is your own unique light. Feel this light start to fill your stomach. It seeps down your legs, into your calves, into your feet. Comes up into your chest, into your heart, to your shoulders, down your arms, up into your throat, and into your head. You are a beautiful light. You are filled with love, joy, and peace. In this space, you feel whole. You feel loving. You feel kind. All stresses are released in this space. This beautiful light is who you are. It is your original essence. It is the light the animals see. I'd like you to bring to mind an animal you love deeply, an animal that brings you joy, and see their light, a beautiful, unique light. Feel your light merging with theirs, coming together in a beautiful space that you've created, and they are joining. Feel your lights become brighter together. You're like the sun. Knowing in this space we are all one. There is no separation. If you are connecting with an animal that is past, know that in this space, you are truly deeply connected. They may not be here in physical body, but their light is just as bright as when they were alive. In this space, there is a deep exchange of love, of oneness, of compassion for all. Let us slowly start to bring ourselves back. You can thank your animal for joining you. Invite them to stay in your heart with you throughout this day and into the night, for however long they'd like to stay with you. And as you slowly bring yourself back, you could start to feel, maybe rub your hands together. Take a deep breath. And then you can slowly start to open your eyes. Ah,
That was nice. Thank you, Leah.
thank you, Jane. Thank you, everyone who's listening. And so here we go. So we will end today a little bit early.
Yep.
But next week, I'm not sure what we're going to talk about.
I don't know. So if anybody has any suggestions or ideas, topics, that questions, that kind of thing, let us know, because we're always looking for topics to discuss.
I think so. We might want to talk about grounding next week and
You
how
know,
important that is.
that might be a good one. I know when I first started, I was really resistant to grounding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't want to ground. Everybody's like, "Oh, you got to ground." I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to. I want to be.
What? No,
I
why?
want to. I want to be up
Oh,
here. Don't tell me I have to ground. No, because it just like it didn't sound fun. It's like, oh, I wanted to be like floating around, and it took me a while, but I realized the importance of it now. Because you can just
You know,
off you go.
that's really interesting because I think because I'm more practical and you're more creative. So for me, grounding is really natural, but up here is really unnatural. Like when it's like, tapping into your psychic sense, or like when I took Taya's animal communication, I wasn't even bad. It was good. I just I don't trust myself. And so this is really hard. That's why I say, hey, key, the second symbol, the second energy of heaven, sky, expansiveness is really hard for me. So what you were experiencing with grounding, I was experiencing with expansiveness. Isn't that? Yeah. So we should talk about that, the different energies. Maybe we'll talk about why we have to ground, but then also why we have to allow ourselves to expand, because that lack of expansion makes us more muddy, right? Then we're too grounded, we're too cemented in our opinions. And we don't have that freedom of thought and creativity. Whereas for you, if you're too much up here, then you could be toppled over, right? Things can knock you over. I think
it's about the balance, right? And it stresses the importance of the balance.
Yes. Okay. So, all right. See how we workshop these topics?
I know.
That's exactly. So it should be bringing grounding energy and your expansive psychic energy into balance.
Yes.
I love it. Are you writing that down?
I'm writing it down now.
Okay. We'll tell Trisha, because she's waiting for us to tell her what our subject.
I know. She's like, ladies.
Exactly. So that's great. So we will tell her that, and she'll announce that. And then in the meantime, be sure to visit our website. Jamie's always got some great new blogs, and we're coming up with some new classes. So
we have a new Instagram page.
Oh, yes, we're going to be talking about
Animal Bonds Meditation. So if you do IG, please follow us on Animal Bonds Meditation.
And what else do we have? I don't even know.
Oh, let's see. So we got the website updated, and we're still making a few tweaks, but it looks really nice, I think. Thanks to Leah. She has an eye for that kind of stuff, definitely.
I'm just persnickety, that's why. It's like it serves me well sometimes. Not good enough, not good enough, not good enough. Oh, that's good enough. Yeah. I'm driving Jamie and our web manager, Julie, crazy. I thought you said this was fine. I did, but I changed my mind.
But it's not now.
It was then. It was perfectly fine yesterday, but today it's not.
You're kind of like the animals when we ask permission. We got to keep an eye on her and see what she's doing, because we may have to check in again.
Oh my God, it's so true. We all have our gifts, and that's not mine. No, but we do. We have some new social, and we're going to be working more on our social media and coming up with some great resources and quotes. And then we're still going to be working on our business series. We just have to figure out a time that works for everybody, because that's hard.
Yeah, everybody seemed to want to make that like a separate thing.
Yeah.
Like a 4-part series. It's separate from these lives. So we've got to find out what's going to work for people.
And it's actually another 2 sessions probably. So we might want to do that maybe every other week or every 3 weeks. Yeah. So we might not do our next one, which I think is going to be on social media. Actually, I don't think we should do it until we get our social media game a little tighter, and then we can.
So we know what we're talking about. Yeah.
We know the tricks.
Yeah,
we just don't have the time to
put them in action.
You do, and we have so much going on. But anyway, thank
Yes.
you all for listening and for being here with us and for
Yes, we
sharing this.
appreciate it.
Love this so much. And we are just so excited. Oh, and you know, there's lots going on in the Reiki world right now with the Animal Reiki, with Let Animals Lead. So be sure to get on Sarah's newsletter, because we share a lot on Sarah's newsletter. So that's shelteranimalreikiassociation.org. Get on there, and definitely, because we're always sharing stuff, aren't we, Jamie?
We are, and you don't have to be a Let Animals Lead practitioner to get on the newsletter and just find out what's going on and stay up to date. Because I think it's a great way to really learn about Let Animals Lead.
Yeah, which is really it's just the most ethical form of animal Reiki out there. It really is.
It is.
Sadly, you know. But other animal Reiki schools are coming up, and they're talking about what we've been talking about for 20 years.
Yep.
So now they're finally talking about kind of where we were 20 years ago. And so that's good. They're evolving and they're coming up. But, you know, we've been doing this for a long time with a lot of trial and error, and we have thousands of people practicing it. So
all around the globe.
All around the world. All around the world. Yeah. So when you practice this way, it's not like you're practicing it alone. You are literally practicing it with thousands of people and with vets and professionals.
Right.
There's so many people who accept this. So yes. So thank you,
Absolutely.
everyone.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to stop